lot more to get to right here. I'm glad it was easy for you, Nick. Morning in America right now.
New today, the U.S. working to find 9 Americans believed to be held hostage by Hamas. What the National Security Advisor is saying now. Plus, marches and demonstrations continue around the globe as pro-Palestinian supporters are seen outside President Biden's home. The message to world leaders. And today marks 1 year since the gruesome University of Idaho stabbings, how the school is honoring the 4 students murdered, plus why DNA evidence might not be enough to convict their suspected killer. Also, Formula One racing bringing thrills and frustrations.
A lot of the customers are even complaining about the traffic, so even getting to the shop is a hassle for them.
Is the excitement of drivers hitting 212 miles per hour on the strip enough for American sports fans?
I'm dreaming of a white Christmas.
And the holidays are upon us. If you're filled with all the holly jolly, we might have a gig for you. Who's looking for a chief of cheer and what you will get paid to do?
NewsNation headquarters in America's heartland. It's time for News for All America.
Yeah, thanks so much for joining us in our last hour, and we love that.
Yes, we have breaking news to report right now. This morning, Secret Service agency protecting President Biden's granddaughter. They actually opened fire on 3 people who were trying to break into an unmarked Secret Service SUV. The agents spotted those men breaking a window on that vehicle. 1 agent fired shots. The Secret Service says no one was hit by the gunfire, and whoever those suspects are took off. This, again, underscoring the growing rise in crime and car thefts, even when it involves a member of the First Family's family, even in the nation's capital.
And we know that our D.C. Bureau is working to get more information on that story, and we will be following that story here on News Nation throughout the day.
Absolutely.
Also new this morning, the Department of Defense releasing the names of the 5 service members killed in an Army helicopter crash in the Mediterranean Sea over the weekend.
Yeah, sad news on Veterans Day. Here you are. These are the names of those 5 soldiers. Chief Warrant Officer Stephen Dwyer, Chief Warrant Officer Shane Barnes, Staff Sergeant Tanner Groan, Sergeant Andrew Southard, and Sergeant Cade Wolf. Now, U.S. European Command says the crash happened during a routine refueling mission. It was a training mission of sorts, not enemy fire or anything related to the Israel-Hamas war, because those are the first thoughts that we all had.
Yeah.
This is very close to the area where this fighting is going on in the Middle East, and we know that there have been U.S. forces targeted recently with drone attacks and such. The Washington Post cites 2 sources saying the troops were sent to the region as part of the United States war response, so they were indeed being sent. We had word that the special forces were going to go and kind of stabilize the region, you know, show force, but they were not in any kind of combat at the time of this
And that's important to note. Our Tom Dempsey is following that story and is, of course, working to get more information, but once again highlighting that no mission is ever routine, that there's still danger involved in everything that the men and women in uniform do. Meanwhile, in Israel, opening up humanitarian corridors between northern and southern Gaza.
This is the Israeli military is holding 4-hour-long pauses in fighting. This is a new development. Our Robert Sherman is live in Tel Aviv with more. Robert.
Good morning to you all. And we've seen the Israeli offensive not stopping anytime soon here, with now over 4,300 strikes carried out on Gazan targets and 300 tunnel shafts demolished as well. According to the IDF, they've had a humanitarian corridor open today for 7 hours. It should be closing any minute now, according to the latest guidance that we've been given from the Israelis, but they have been known to be flexible on those time windows based upon the demand and needs of people who have been leaving. That's just a testament to the tens of thousands of Gazans that we have seen flowing from the north and heading south in just the last couple of days there. And something else to keep a close eye on, as well as the Rafah crossing in southern Gaza. It had to be shut down on Friday due to safety concerns, but it started to open up again this weekend, with Egyptian officials saying the first of foreign passport holders, as well as injured Gazans, crossing into Egypt since it reopened. That happening late last night. Some of those people who have made that journey, American citizens who said the road to get to this point has been long, trying, and they're just hoping to get home soon. Take a listen.
It's been hard for me and my brother. It's been really hard for me and my brother and other people, millions of people. We came from the north. We walked more than like 5 kilometers on feet, and it's been so hard. And people were dying, were mentally unwell.
There's been a lot of discussion about fuel, especially at hospitals in Gaza City the last couple of days. Hospital workers saying that they are totally out at most every medical center in the Strip. This is a video coming from one of those hospitals in which a doctor is performing surgery, stitching up a patient using nothing but cell phone lights because they don't have any fuel for power. The IDF pushing back on all of this, though, saying that last night they delivered fuel to hospitals in Gaza City, 300 liters worth. You see this video taken in the dead of night there. But they say that the Hamas-run Gazan Health Ministry will not allow hospital workers to receive any of that fuel and start using it. They said the fuel has gone untouched and unclaimed since it was delivered by the IDF last night. Adrienne?
Robert, our thanks to you for that reporting. Now to a major story out of Manhattan, a federal investigation into the fundraising campaign for New York Mayor Eric Adams. The FBI now digging into the mayor's iPad and his cell phones, which he did turn over. He cooperated with investigators. They're trying to figure out if members of his campaign acted improperly, including accepting illegal donations from foreign countries. Dre Clark is in New York with the investigation and how the mayor's responding so far. Dre?
Well, Adrienne, Mayor Adams certainly prides himself on being open, honest, and transparent. Now that will be put to the test. This, of course, marking what could be a very challenging week for the mayor, because certainly wherever he goes, he will be answering questions about what has now become a very high-profile and very much public federal corruption investigation involving individuals who made contributions to his 2021 mayoral campaign. We should mention the mayor has not been charged, nor has any member of his administration, and the mayor says they are no doubt cooperating with federal investigators. Now, it was a week ago last Monday when federal agents approached the mayor after one of his public speaking engagements and discreetly seized some of his electronics, including cell phones and iPads, as part of their federal investigation. The mayor provided investigators with his passwords, allowing them to have quick and full access, and sources tell NewsNation most of those devices have now been returned to the mayor. Federal investigators initially raided the Brooklyn home of Brianna Suggs, who is the mayor's lead campaign fundraiser. That surprise raid at Suggs' home prompted the mayor to abruptly cancel a very important meeting with White House officials in Washington about the ongoing migrant crisis happening here in New York City. The mayor canceled that meeting and came right back here to New York. Suggs is also the goddaughter of one of the mayor's closest advisors, Ingrid Lewis Martin, seen here sitting with the mayor to his right. Federal investigators won't comment on the details, the exact details of their investigation, but they are reportedly looking into whether the Turkish government benefited from donations it made to the mayor's 2021 mayoral campaign. The mayor has been very open about his personal relationship with members of the Turkish government, and he strongly denies any notion of him giving them any kind of special treatment.
It would really shock me if someone that was hired by my campaign did something that's inappropriate. Not only would it shock me, it would hurt me.
And the mayor reiterates he has not been accused of any wrongdoing, and he is fully cooperating with federal investigators. But this is only the beginning. It will likely be a long and drawn-out drama involving the mayor and exactly what was said, in particular in text messages between him and members of the Turkish government. Nick, Adrienne.
Andre, it's clear that the mayor has a personal relationship with his staff and his team and would be very disappointed if it did turn out that something illegal happened there. Dre Clark, live for us this morning. Dre, thank you. South Carolina Senator Tim Scott ending his 2024 presidential bid, taking many of his donors and much of his staff by surprise.
That is what has been reported, is that they didn't find out until we found out. Scott, at one point, of course, was seen as a very serious contender for the Republican nomination, but he didn't gain any traction in the polls. Some of his donors say they will back former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley for president now that Scott is out. Haley's campaign just announcing it does plan to spend $10 million in ads across Iowa and New Hampshire. Now, on to this story. The search is on for a new Catholic bishop for the diocese in East Texas following Pope Francis abruptly firing Bishop Joseph Strickland. Strickland is a conservative radio host. He has criticized the pontiff for being too progressive on social issues, specifically welcoming more women and the LGBTQ plus community into the church in a variety of ways. The Vatican launched an investigation earlier this year into his leadership. He actually was asked to resign. He would not. The Bishop of Austin will temporarily oversee the diocese. But I think it's important to note, because I'm watching all the chatter online, and there are some who are saying, wow, this is just such a bold move for the Pope to fire him. Others are saying, oh, you're firing him for being Catholic. He's like really, really Catholic. So, I mean, because there are a lot of the faithful who agree with his stance. That's why he's on the radio.
Which is why it's such a tough position for the faithful who are following this so closely.
The church has faced controversy before, and it's going to happen again.
Well, there's more controversy, Adrienne.
Toilet
paper.
Yeah. I thought we were done talking about toilet paper in 2020.
Because people keep snatching it off of shelves. That's right. Toilet paper under lock and key. It's a sign of retail theft getting out of hand. Our NewsNation newsmakers will weigh in on this and so many other things that we're talking about. Political strategist Rena Shah, board-certified neurologist Dr. Tom.
Yeah, Dr. Tom might be able to tell us what the heck is wrong with us for us to be fighting over toilet paper
and
again.
FBI Special Agent Jennifer Coffindaffer, she's like, wait, Nick, you have me talking about what? Toilet paper? Are you kidding me?
That's one topic.
They all have something to say. Wait till they weigh in after the break.
Yeah, we're going to talk about a few things. Plus, NewsNation is your home for the next Republican primary debate. The GOP presidential candidates will square off in a live primetime event at the University of Alabama Wednesday, December 6th. Elizabeth Vargas, our very own, Sirius XM's Megyn Kelly, and editor-in-chief of Washington Free Beacon, Eliana Johnson, will moderate the 2-hour event. Again, 3 moderators, a special event. Wednesday, December 6th, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central Time. Mark your calendars right here on NewsNation.
NewsNation Republican primary debate, December 6th on NewsNation.
Sore throat got your tongue? Mucinex Insta-Sue sore throat medicated drops. Uniquely formulated for rapid relief that lasts and lasts.
That's my baby!
Get Mucinex Insta-Sue. It's comeback season.
My skin has been so much smoother, so much more hydrated. It's Olay.
With Olay Hyaluronic Body Wash, 95% of women had visibly better skin.
My skin is so much more moisturized.
See the difference with Olay.
Okay, everyone. Our mission is to provide complete balanced nutrition for strength and energy.
Ensure with 27 vitamins and minerals, nutrients for immune health, and Ensure Complete with 30 grams of protein.
I have type 2 diabetes, but I manage it well. It's a little pill with a big story to tell. I take once daily Jardiance at each day start. As time went on, it was easy to see I'm lowering my A1C.
Jardiance works 24/7 in your body to flush out some sugar. And for adults with type 2 diabetes and known heart disease, Jardiance can lower the risk of cardiovascular death too. Jardiance may cause serious side effects, including ketoacidosis that may be fatal, dehydration that can lead to a sudden worsening of kidney function, and genital yeast or urinary tract infections. A rare life-threatening bacterial infection in the skin of the perineum could occur. Stop taking Jardiance and call your doctor right away if you have symptoms of this infection, ketoacidosis, or an allergic reaction, and don't take it if you're on dialysis. Taking Jardiance with the sulfonylurea or insulin may cause low blood sugar.
Jardiance is really swell, the little pill with the big story to tell.
At Consumer Cellular, our customer service team is based here in America.
America?
America.
From sea to shining sea.
Beautiful.
My mental health was much better, but I struggled with uncontrollable movements called TD, tardive dyskinesia. TD can be caused by some mental health meds.
And it's unlikely to improve without treatment. I felt like my movements were in the spotlight.
#1 prescribed Ingrezza is the only TD treatment for adults that's always one pill once daily. Ingrezza 80 milligram is proven to reduce TD movements in 7 out of 10 people. People taking Ingrezza can stay on most mental health meds. Ingrezza can cause depression, suicidal thoughts, or actions in patients with Huntington's disease. Pay close attention to and call your doctor if you become depressed, have sudden changes in mood, behaviors, feelings, or have thoughts of suicide. Don't take Ingrezza if you're allergic to its ingredients. Ingrezza may cause serious side effects, including angioedema, potential heart rhythm problems, and abnormal movements. Report fevers, stiff muscles, or problems thinking, as these may be life-threatening. Sleepiness is the most common side effect.
It's nice. People focus more on me.
Ask your doctor about #1 prescribed once daily Ingrezza.
The 4th Thursday in November. It's the day our families come together. The day food is shared. The day America gives thanks. Today, that day takes on a deeper meaning. When the world seems broken, it's more important than ever to remember what we haven't lost, to remember our values, and to remember who we are.
Good morning. We have breaking news this morning. Some would-be car burglars likely picked on the wrong victim this weekend. An unmarked Secret Service car. Our Elena Shirazi is live in D.C. with more on this breaking news story. Elena, I know that you've been following this since it broke. What can you tell us?
Good morning, Nick. The Secret Service confirming this morning that agents assigned to protecting President Biden's granddaughter, Naomi, opened fire on what would appear to be 3 burglars. In a statement, the Secret Service said, in part, quote, agents encountered possibly 3 individuals breaking a window on a parked and unoccupied government vehicle. During this encounter, a federal agent discharged a service weapon, and it's believed no one was struck. Naomi Biden, the president's 29-year-old granddaughter, works as a lawyer in Washington and is the oldest daughter of Hunter Biden. Naomi Biden, the president's 29-year-old granddaughter, works as a lawyer in Washington. The incident comes amid a rise in carjackings and car burglaries in the nation's capital. Both the Secret Service and D.C. Metro Police are investigating. Nick, Adrienne.
Well, it's good to know that the car was not occupied at the time, Alina, and also important to note that Naomi lives at the White House with her husband and her grandparents, who happen to be the president and first lady of the United States. So obviously we're paying attention to that because of their notoriety. But again, they were not inside the vehicle. So it's interesting. We'll hopefully find out more from the Secret Service when we can. Well, the GOP presidential race has lost another candidate. South Carolina Senator Tim Scott. That is him with his girlfriend. That became big news last week. I mean, it doesn't matter because he's out. Our NewsNation newsmakers, Arena Shaw, Dr. Tom Pitts, and Jennifer Coffindaffer are here to talk about the fact that Tim Scott stepped down. I mean, nobody was really surprised. Were you, Rena?
I was not surprised because I knew it was only a matter of time. At some point between debate 1 and 2, but between 2 and 3, it was most evident. I think it was evident to him because if you heard his closing remarks at debate number 3, you heard what I would consider a legacy speech. He talked about all the things that have always been important to him, ranging from his mother to prayer to women's sports to just the crisis of culture and spirituality in this country. To me, that was really putting the bow tie on this presidential run that he knew was not going to end successfully. So I think when you look at this run on its face, it's very easy to say, oh, Tim Scott couldn't make it when everybody seems to want to go for a Trump type of guy. In fact, the super PAC mission PAC that was supporting him said it's clear that people don't want an alternative to Trump. But look, this requires some degree of nuance. And stick with me here. Tim Scott had a very hard right stance on abortion. But what I think the donors in the GOP primary are even starting to figure out is that Trump doesn't talk talk about abortion that much.
No,
and what even this donor class wants, essentially, they understand that in the overturn of Roe, nobody wants a federal ban. And Tim Scott would have wanted that. And therefore, he could probably not have been successful in the general election. And that's why I think already people were starting to abandon him, is that he was just too far hard right on abortion, and he wasn't willing to give it up when the rest of the party kind of has said, as you heard through Chris Christie on the debate stage, it's done, let it be with the states.
I don't know. I think that there was more to it, too. I think that Scott was a little too, I don't know, nice guy. Maybe, Dr. Pitts, show us what it takes for somebody to be open to a new flavor when, you know, the majority of the electorate is stuck on Trump. That's what the polls are showing. He was squeaky clean in some ways, and maybe people wanted more grit. I don't know.
No presence. Nobody turns around when he walks into a room. You know what I mean? He's polling at 2.2%. Imagine if I tried out, me, a non-professional baseball player, I try out at the Yankees, I bat .002, and then I go, hey, guys, let's meet after I have a huge announcement. Believe it or not, I'm dropping out of tryouts. Yeah, man, you were like the lowest polling one of course you dropped out. Thanks for doing it before you prolonged it even longer.
But Jennifer, you haven't given up on the idea of someone nice actually possibly leading the country again.
Well, absolutely. I tell you what, I liked him. I liked that he was non-divisive. I liked that he wanted to work with Democrats. I liked his whole stance. But you know what? Unfortunately, a nice guy equals milquetoast. He wasn't sensational, and that's why he couldn't make his way. But let's look for him in the future, I hope.
Yeah, I think like he said, you know, the voters have spoken. Yeah. Not now, Tim. So that kind of left the door open for his future in politics. Okay, so we were talking about this throughout the hour because I'm trying to figure out why I go to my local drugstore and I have to ask for help because, you know, everything's locked up. You guys have experienced this. I'm one of those people that doesn't like to order everything online. I like to actually go and see people.
Touch and feel. And
now toilet paper is nothing sacred? I'm going to start with you, Dr. Pitts.
Yeah, you know, I will tell you this. You know, when you see Louis Vuitton, when you see these high-end items going away, and shoplifting, those are opportunists. Actually, the toilet paper is more sad than other things. When you're in a big city, for those that don't know, like I'm in New York City, Chicago, if you're homeless on the street, there's no bathrooms for you. No one's going to let you in. No Starbucks is going to admit you without buying something. And so toilet paper is a reflection of an unmet need for people to fulfill their basic, because there's no resale value on toilet paper, right? It's always because they have to go somewhere in the street.
Thank you for that visual. Thank you for that visual, Dr. Pitts. I mean, you were so,
real thing. You know,
you were so poetic in the beginning, and I was like, God, this is so compassionate. And all of a sudden,
it's what we walk our kids by every morning and the bus stop. You know,
you got a good point.
It needs to be seen.
Yeah, you got a good point. I lived in Manhattan for 5 years.
I don't know, Rena. I think it is a crime of opportunity because I don't know that I want to place this on the homeless who are stealing toilet paper, Rena.
Well, I'm having a flashback to 2020 here when people were hoarding toilet paper, right? I mean, are people expecting the next, I don't know, crisis of some sort and starting to hoard again? I haven't seen any data that leads me to believe that. But here's the thing about toilet paper. It's that it does take up quite a bit of space on shelves. And people in my generation, okay, look, I'm an elder millennial. I'm going to readily admit that. I hit subscribe and save on a certain online retailer and it shows up at my door. I don't have to go lug it. I don't have to drag it in a little cart. And frankly, it's kind of done for me and I don't have to think about it for months on end. So I think this thing about shelf space is a real thing.
Yeah, okay, first of all, the term geriatric millennial is what's been thrown around. I'm so glad you said elder millennial. I think that's a kinder, gentler way to describe it. But I like going in the stores, and I think a lot of people are feeling, Jennifer, like what's happened in the world where we don't feel safe even going to our own drugstores or pharmacies anymore, and it's making us more isolated because we don't want to have to deal with any quote-unquote riffraff. Even though we have compassion for the homeless, we don't want to see criminal behavior.
Well, you know what? You're looking at $112 billion retail loss due to shoplifting, due to thefts, and due to smash and grabs and everything that's happening. So retailers are really having to reconstruct how they're going to sell. And I wouldn't doubt someday in our future, and maybe near future, that we have people doing drive-throughs that they do now for pharmaceuticals, saying,
you mean like drive-bys?
You drive in your drive-through and you say at CVS, listen, I need hairspray and I need a can of tuna and I need a loaf of bread. And in other words, you don't enter because look at all the amount of merchandise that is being lifted and stolen.
Yeah, whatever you can't get delivered with Amazon same day.
Okay, last topic, you guys. Got to ask you guys about this. Arkansas is bringing back snow days. They're introducing snow days for the first time since the pandemic. No more remote learning on bad weather days. Making parents happy? What do you think? Rena?
I hate this. I got to be honest. Look, I grew up in the mountains of southern West Virginia. And on the flip, it's like, okay, kids love snow days. We rejoiced when we were children. My gosh, there's like a foot of snow outside. But what makes it hard for parents today is that they see that deficit in learning. And I'm a parent. I have 3 really tiny children that just entered school. And the eldest, I must say. So I'm just getting warmed up to this idea of how do I get my child ready to compete? Because our world is global. It's interconnected. I am thinking about the kids in India, China, Russia on the daily. Wow. They are learning in different ways. And our children, the more we keep them away from learning, even if it's remote, I think we need to have them learning in every way, even if it's remote. But if we keep them out of school, there's got to be a substitute. We've got to keep American kids on par with the world. They're already behind. And I'm really concerned when school districts take sort of these measures that are like, okay, we're going to make it easier for your kid to just stay home. What is the kid doing? Well, I'm really worried about this. This is a longer conversation we all need to be having.
Well, and you're speaking more to the global perspective, global competition. But what I hear underneath that is the concern that schools are becoming too lax, almost giving kids a pass because of all the stress and trauma over the past 3 years. I'm interested to hear from you, Dr. Pitts. Is this the right approach, or are culturally we seeing an overcorrection that needs to come back to center?
Well, if there's one thing I love, it is education. And I can tell you it's the key to fixing most of our underlying problems. Look at Finland. Finland is #1 in education, has been for a long time, okay? 5 million people, homogeneous population, I understand it's a little different. They spend the least amount of time in the classroom, but the most amount of time learning. And so Arkansas basically took a benchmark and did the complete opposite. Congratulations, Arkansas. You basically said, okay, great, we have these alternate method of learning, which is basically home creative learning on a snow day, right? And then you don't have to recoup the day. And they basically said, oh, we're too cheap to pay our teachers, so we're not gonna let that qualify as one of their 178 mandatory in-person days. So that went out the window. So we took what most people are doing, hybrid learning, more time outside the home, more time to interact with the environment, put these concepts to use. And basically because we're too cheap to pay, no surprise, a female-predominated profession in the South, now we have to go back to the old school method here and add days on and basically make a snow day a day where you're just sitting at home doing nothing.
Well, I think that a lot of school districts are strapped, cash strapped. You know, it starts from the top down.
It doesn't.
And where are these schools getting their funding from? But Jennifer, we have to let you have the final word on this one. I mean, are our kids suffering by having these snow days, or is this maybe something where we all need to just chill out? Literally, just put on Home Alone and spend some family time together.
That's right. I'm going to have to disagree with my esteemed panelists here. Growing up in Nebraska and Kansas most of my life, these snow days were great. You went outside, you made snowmen, you interacted with your family. It was amazing. I loved it. And you know what? You cannot replace classroom learning. The connectivity isn't there. It's limited in terms of the accountability of the student, what they're really doing when they're supposed to be online. I say bring it back old school. I love Arkansas going back to this.
I did not expect to hear Jennifer say that.
At all. I expected Jennifer to say, I want you opening the book now.
But I like the variety. I like the diversity of thought here. Rena Shaw, Dr. Tom Pitts, Jennifer Coffin-Daffer, thank you all for being here and having our conversation with our newsmakers.
Thank you.
I love that. And I'll start ordering the toilet paper like Rena now.
I still will walk down to the pharmacy
and
because that's the only workout I get some days. Gosh.
Hey guys, listen, it was 1 year ago today when 4 University of Idaho students were stabbed to death in their sleep.
Horrible story. I mean, it's just this crucial case, this suspected killer, again, the suspect. Look at where this all stands right now and why some are saying DNA evidence against him might not be enough for a conviction.
Shingles. Some describe it as pulsing electric shocks or sharp stabbing pains. This painful blistering rash can disrupt your life for weeks. A pain so intense, you could miss out on family time. The virus that causes shingles is likely already inside of you. If you're 50 years or older, ask your doctor or pharmacist about shingles.
Had enough? No, arthritis. Here, Aspirin arthritis. Huh. Full prescription strength. Reduces inflammation. Thank the gods.
Don't thank them too soon.
Kick pain in the Aspirin.
Feeling sluggish or weighed down? Could be a sign you're not getting enough daily fiber. Metamucil capsules can help. Psyllium fiber gels to trap and remove the waste that weighs you down, promoting digestive health for a better you. Metamucil capsules, an easy way to get more daily fiber.
Meet the Jennifers. Gen X, Gen Y, and Gen Z. Each planning their future through the Chase mobile app. Gen X is planning a summer in Portugal with some help from JP Morgan Wealth Plan. Let's go, Whiskers. Gen Y is working with a banker to budget for her birthday.
You only turned 30 once.
And Gen Z, her credit's golden. Hello, new apartment. 3 gens getting ahead with Chase. Solutions that grow with you. One bank for now, for later, for life. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Did you know you can save with GoodRx, even if you have insurance?
You know, I thought my prescription was covered until it wasn't, but GoodRx helps with that.
I work for myself, so I buy my own insurance. And I still check GoodRx.
I'm on Medicare. I check GoodRx because it can beat my copay. Who wouldn't like that?
Even if you have insurance, GoodRx can help you save.
Okay, we'll see you next time.
Another good reason to check GoodRx.
If your vehicle isn't under warranty, it's almost like a ticking time bomb. Sooner or later, it's going to break down, and you'll be stuck with a repair bill that could blow up your budget. Unless you have an auto protection plan from Everything Breaks. Our protection plans cover the expensive items that your auto insurance doesn't, like engine repairs, transmission, AC, computer systems, and more. Plus, our plans include 24/7 roadside assistance, free towing, free trip interruption, and free rental cars. Plans from other providers can cost between $100 to $200 per month. But with Everything Breaks, you can get the critical coverage that you need with plans starting at less than $1 a day. And if you call right now, your rates will be locked in, guaranteed. If your vehicle is out of warranty, call us now to get protected before it breaks down.
Call 1-800-374-4456, 1-800-374-4456.
Welcome back. Breaking news this morning. Secret Service agents reportedly protecting President Joe Biden's granddaughter, opening fire on 3 people who were trying to break into their unmarked Secret Service SUV. The vehicle was unoccupied at the time, we've been told. Naomi Biden was in Georgetown. She was out that night. It was late. It was around midnight when it happened, according to the latest reporting that we have. The agents spotting those 3 suspects breaking a window on that Secret Service vehicle. One agent did fire shots. The Secret Service says nobody was hit by that gunfire. Those suspects took off. No doubt the Secret Service is looking for those 3 people. But again, from what we know, Naomi Biden, the president's granddaughter, who was in Georgetown at the time, being protected, and that vehicle being protected as well by Secret Service.
And again, uninjured, so we'll continue to follow that story and see what we come up with. Well, 1 year ago today, 4 college students were brutally murdered in Idaho. It's a case that kept the nation's headlines top of mind for weeks.
Yeah, it was so graphic, so horrific. It took more than a month for police to make an arrest. Really, it was pretty quick, though, considering what they had to go on. But Madison Mogan, Kaylee Gonsalves, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin, they were all stabbed to death in their beds. This was in their off-campus home at the University of Idaho. You remember how horrible and gory this story was. And the man who is suspected of killing them, Brian Kohberger, was later charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder. NewsNation senior national correspondent Brian Enton, he was in Moscow, Idaho from the very beginning. He's there now for us live. Brian, I know you spoke with family members of one of the victims. What are they telling you 1 year to the day?
Yeah, it's a very sad time, obviously, Adrienne. It's still just so raw here in Moscow, Idaho, because nothing like this has ever happened here. It's normally just a sleepy, quiet college town, and then they had this brutal murder that they're still dealing with. These 4 beautiful college students stabbed to death in their sleep at their off-campus house. And for the families, this is really a nightmare that they're living every single day. It's interesting, coming into the 1-year mark, Adrienne, I thought, these families go through hell every day. Does today really feel any different? And it does. Kaylee Gonzalez's parents told me it does feel different, acknowledging that it's been 1 year, because you're acknowledging that a whole year has passed. You've gone through every single holiday without your daughter, their birthday, your birthdays. Every milestone has now officially passed, and they said that is especially difficult to deal with. They actually still pay Kaylee's cell phone bill because it's comforting to them to know that they can still text her phone. It's something they do often. Listen to what Kaylee's parents told me.
Is it comforting texting her?
Yeah, it's usually when, it just sucks because you just want her to reply so bad. So bad. And I go to our last message all the time, and it's just crazy to me because I remember exactly where I was, what I was doing, what we were talking about. Me and Steven were out when she sent me that picture, and I would have never known that Kaylee would be dead in 12 hours from that picture.
And this is that text message that Kaylee's mom, Christy, is talking about. It's the final text message that Kaylee sent her. It's a picture of her and her best friend, Maddie, there. And you can see that Kaylee's mom wrote back, "My lovies." That was the last time they communicated, 12 hours before the brutal murder. And for that family, it's hard because Maddie was like a second daughter to them. So they say it's really like losing 2 daughters. Today will certainly be emotional here on campus. There is a candlelight vigil planned for this evening. Nick?
Brian, I can only imagine how tough it is for all the families involved and those who knew and loved each of them. Brian Enton, thank you so much. Let's bring in Court TV anchor Ted Rollins. He's been following this case from the start and has covered high-profile cases for more than 2 decades. Now, authorities say they found the murder weapon under Madison's body with Brian Kohlberger's DNA on the sheath of the knife. But you believe that isn't enough necessarily to make a slam dunk in this case. Why would DNA evidence not be enough to secure a conviction?
Well, good morning, Nick. First of all, it was just the sheath. They never actually found the murder weapon. DNA is never enough on its own because you don't know how the DNA got on any particular item. And more importantly, you don't know when that DNA was put on that item. So if this case was just Brian Kohlberger's DNA was on the snap of the knife sheath, and that's all prosecutors had, this would be a tough case to win. Absolutely. There'd be questions of how did the guy's DNA get on it, obviously. But it's not enough because you would just put, as the defense would just put up a DNA expert who would say that they cannot tell you how DNA got anywhere or when it got anywhere. The problem for the Kohlberger defense right now, of course, there's a gag order. We don't know all of the information, is all the other stuff. Why was a white Elantra in the area? He has a white Elantra. His cell phone was off during that window of the murders. Why was it off? And he was in the area, according to his cell phone records, 12 times over the months before. So for prosecutors, what they have, what we know that they have from that probable cause affidavit is significant. And the DNA is absolutely a major component. But without the other stuff, this wouldn't be a slam dunk by any stretch of the imagination.
And Mr. Rollins, I'm glad you said that because prosecution, you talked about that extensive evidence against Kohlberger from the surveillance video allegedly showing his vehicle near the victim's home, his phone being pinged and turned off during times of the crime. Now, that in conjunction with the DNA evidence, you believe that that could be enough if that DNA evidence is disqualified.
Well, no, if you take the DNA out, all the way out, and it won't be pulled all the way out. There's a very minute chance. Then that would change everything as well, because keep in mind, there's that video of the car. But then just during that window right before the murders, the car's gone. You don't see it. So you don't see someone get out. You have Dylan Mortensen, the surviving roommate, describing a tall, thin, athletic person with the bushy eyebrows. All of the evidence that we know about in the probable cause affidavit is going to be attacked piece by piece by piece by the defense. They're going to say DNA. Well, who knows how it got there? This was a party house. There were people coming in and out all of the time. What about the car? Well, we don't see it during the murders. And our guy, they did file this alibi notice. Our guy liked to drive around at night. I don't know how much of an alibi that is, common sense wise, but they're going to attack each and every one of these prongs. The problem is when you add them all together, it's a pretty compelling story about a monster going on a murder spree.
Court TV's Ted Rowlands joining us this morning. Ted, thank you so much.
You bet. Thanks, Dave.
It'll be interesting to see what happens in that case. Well, after obviously being something that's been brought up multiple times over several months, if not longer, a vote to impeach Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas may actually happen. The meeting being held by the House today, and what members of Congress are saying is proof that he needs to be ousted.
Right there. Oh, he's straight ahead. He's straight ahead. Go, go,
go. Cover more ground in the Kia Sportage Turbo Hybrid. Kia, movement that inspires.
I brought in Ensure Max Protein with 30 grams of protein.
Those who tried me felt more energy in just 2 weeks. Here, I'll take that.
Ensure Max Protein. 30 grams protein, 1 gram sugar, 25 vitamins and minerals, and nutrients for immune health.
Kayaking is my thing.
Running is awesome.
But her moderate to severe eczema would make her skin so uncomfortable.
I was always so itchy, especially when I was hot.
Now my skin doesn't itch as much.
Now we're staying ahead of her eczema.
There's a power inside all of us to live our passion, and Dupixent works on the inside to help heal your skin from within. It helps block a key source of inflammation inside the body that can cause eczema, so they can have clearer skin and less itch. Serious allergic reactions can occur that can be severe. Tell your doctor about new or worsening eye problems, such as eye pain or vision changes, including blurred vision, joint aches and pain, or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma medicines without talking to your doctor.
Healing from within is a wonderful thing.
Ask your child's eczema specialist how Dupixent can help heal their skin from within.
It's easy to get lost in investment research. Introducing JP Morgan Personal Advisors.
Hey, David.
Connect with an advisor to create your personalized plan.
Let's find the right investments for your goals.
Okay, great.
JP Morgan Wealth Management.
My mom's Alzheimer's never changed how much we love her, but it did change her. She developed agitation that may happen with dementia due to Alzheimer's disease. She started yelling, pacing around, kept repeating the same questions. She got agitated often. So we asked her doctor for help.
Rexulti is the only FDA-approved medication proven to reduce agitation symptoms that may happen with dementia due to Alzheimer's disease. Rexulti can cause serious side effects. Elderly dementia patients have increased risk of death or stroke. Report fever, stiff muscles, and confusion, which can be life-threatening, or uncontrolled muscle movements, which may be permanent. High blood sugar, which can lead to coma or death. Weight gain, increased cholesterol, low white blood cells, unusual urges, dizziness on standing, falls, seizures, trouble swallowing, or sleepiness may occur. Take action for your loved one. Ask their doctor about Rexulti.
Welcome back to Morning in America. The House plans to meet today in what might be the first concrete attempt to impeach Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene saying he's violated the Secure Fence Act. Now, that's a 2006 Bush-era law that defines the border operationally secure only if no people or contraband improperly enter the country. This move has stirred a debate politically and within the Republican Party.
Well, we'll be sure covering that.
Yes.
Marjorie Taylor Greene making some boss moves with that one. We're just minutes away from NewsNation Live, and Marni Hughes is here with a little preview. Hi.
You guys were just talking about the year mark for the Idaho murder killings.
Oh, my, yeah.
I think it's so important that we remember the fear in that community a year ago, right? It took 6 weeks before they made an arrest in that case after those 4 students were killed. So we'll spend some time today talking about that. And then thinking about this last year for these families, and the trial just keeps getting pushed back, and it sticks in my mind. Kaylee Gonsalves's parents, we recently sat down and spoke with them, how painful and frustrating it is for them to be in the courtroom with Brian Kohberger. And they brought up the fact that he's in a suit. It really bothers them that he is in a suit and not in orange prison gear, that he's sitting there in all of these court proceedings. There's still some debate going back and forth about the home and whether or not they demolished the home. So those are all important things as we kind of set the stage for this year mark and what goes next in this case. The Trump civil trial continues again today, as you guys have been discussing. One of the big things for the defense's arguments, I'm wondering, will they bring on experts to justify the valuation of properties? That's the crux of their argument. Could somebody come on and say, well, here's why they were valued at this, and here's why we don't think it was a crime, and there were no victims? Will we see any bank executives testify? I think because the defense will now have to present its case, according to the judge, could open the door and a lot of people's eyes into what their strategy will be. And then finally, we are going to talk about Americans who are helping in Israel. There's a man from Colorado whose daughter lives in Israel. He decided, I'm going to go. I'm going to spend 3 weeks volunteering. He's coming back with his stories. And one thing that he's going to talk about is the emptiness of the airport and of businesses that he visited, because 360,000 reservists are now in Gaza, and the fight continues. So his observations and how Americans can help.
Wow.
And those nonprofits, so many charitable organizations, faith-based organizations from all around the world are pouring into Israel at a time that they need it.
And they'll need it for a long time.
Yes, absolutely. Well, we're gonna watch all of that. Thank you, Marni. You can watch NewsNation Live weekdays, 10 a.m. through 1 p.m. Eastern. More news for All America next.
Bye-bye, cough.
Later, chest congestion. Hello, 12 hours of relief.
12 hours? Not coughing? Hashtag still not coughing?
Mucinex DM gives you 12 hours of relief from chest congestion and any type of cough, day or night. Mucinex DM. It's comeback season.
It's easy to get lost in investment research. Introducing JP Morgan Personal Advisors.
Hey, David.
Connect with an advisor to create your personalized plan.
Let's find the right investments for your goals.
Okay, great.
JP Morgan Wealth Management.
With the Freestyle Libre 2 system, know your glucose level and where it's headed. No finger sticks needed. Manage your diabetes with more confidence. Freestyle Libre 2. Try it for free at freestylelibre.us.
I'm not just accomplished, I am accomplishing. So I'm doing all I can to help lower my risk of breaking a bone.
For postmenopausal women with osteoporosis at high risk for fracture, taking calcium and vitamin D may not be enough. Adding Prolia is proven to help strengthen bones and reduce spine fracture risk by 68% with 1 shot every 6 months. Do not take Prolia if you have low blood calcium, are pregnant, are allergic to it, or take Exgeva. Serious allergic reactions like low blood pressure, trouble breathing, throat tightness, face, lip, or tongue swelling, rash, itching, or hives have happened. Tell your doctor about dental problems, as severe jawbone problems may happen with Prolia, or about pain in your hip, groin, or thigh, as unusual thigh bone fractures have occurred. Talk to your doctor before stopping, skipping, or delaying Prolia, as spine and other fractures have occurred. Serious side effects like low blood calcium, serious infections which could need hospitalization, skin problems, and severe bone, joint, or muscle pain have occurred.
I have so much more to accomplish.
Talk to your doctor about Prolia.
My mental health was much better, but I struggled with uncontrollable movements called TD, tardive dyskinesia. TD can be caused by some mental health meds.
And it's unlikely to improve without treatment. I felt like my movements were in the spotlight.
#1 prescribed Ingrezza is the only TD treatment for adults that's always 1 pill once daily. Ingrezza 80 milligram is proven to reduce TD movements in 7 out of 10 people. People taking Ingrezza can stay on most mental health meds. Ingrezza can cause depression, suicidal thoughts, or actions in patients with Huntington's disease. Pay close attention to and call your doctor if you become depressed, have sudden changes in mood, behaviors, feelings, or have thoughts of suicide. Don't take Ingrezza if you're allergic to its ingredients. Ingrezza may cause serious side effects, including angioedema, potential heart rhythm problems, and abnormal movements. Report fevers, stiff muscles, or problems thinking, as these may be life-threatening. Sleepiness is the most common side effect.
It's nice. People focus more on me.
Ask your doctor about #1 prescribed once daily Ingrezza.
Skin craving next level hydration? New Neutrogena Hydro Boost Water Cream. A vital boost of 9 times more hydration to boost your skin's barrier for quenched, dewy skin that's full of life. Neutrogena Hydro Boost.
Hi, I'm Nichole Berlie. The Medicare annual enrollment period is now, and it doesn't last long. This is the time of the year to make sure you're in the right plan at the right price with the right coverage for you. First, make the free call and speak with a licensed insurance agent to discuss the plans with available benefits in your area. Second, our partners offer plans from Humana, Aetna, Anthem, United Healthcare, Kaiser Permanente, Cigna, WellCare, so you can compare plans across multiple carriers. Third, choose the plan with the benefits that are right for you and your needs.
I call every year to compare plans that fit my needs.
Folks, I make the call every year as soon as the Medicare annual enrollment period starts because it makes the whole process easy and stress-free for me. It's a free call, a free consultation, and there's no obligation. Get started on your 3 C's and make the call to speak to a licensed insurance agent now.
For a free no-obligation consultation, call 800-491-8048.
Okay, the Grand Prix happening this Saturday. Yes, it's making a comeback to Vegas for the first time since the last Formula One race on the Strip back in 1980-something.
Absolutely, and the Strip will be on fire. But not everyone is revved up about this race, from hotel calls to packed restaurants, snarled traffic, and a sudden influx of people who wouldn't normally be on the Strip in November. Kelsey Kernstein is here with the controversy the race has been causing since its announcement. Kelsey.
Nick and Adrienne, I'll tell you what, this race, it hasn't been in Vegas in over 40 years. It's supposed to be a heart-pounding experience, but at the same time, there's also a lot of excitement out there, but it's also creating a lot of headaches.
The sound of slots on the Strip, soon to be replaced by the sound of squealing tires and high-octane engines.
I think everybody was excited to see the cars running down the Strip.
Sin City is about to be transformed into Motor City next weekend, but not everybody is revved up about Formula One's Las Vegas Grand Prix. This F1 fanatic bride-to-be had to cancel her dream wedding because of skyrocketing hotel prices.
They literally just priced us out the market at the time when we needed to book and confirm our date for our wedding.
Hotel room rates more than tripled when the race was first announced in 2022. But since then, rates have been cut in half, with many rooms left to be sold.
All of the hotel rooms were priced very high, anticipating that potentially those rooms would be filled by F1 customers.
And the months of construction along a 3.8-mile racetrack through the heart of the city, causing delays, frustrations, and eyesores.
Time consuming, and the lights, you can't even tell which one is green, which one is not.
A 1-mile drive down the Strip, taking up to 40 minutes. The city's 100,000 resort workers are concerned about how they're going to get to work with all the street closures.
It is a nightmare driving to work.
I am not able to take my stepdaughter to middle school in the morning.
And businesses affected say they've seen a significant drop-off in customers and sales.
I'm feeling like a lot of people are choosing not to drive to this part of town to avoid the F1 traffic area.
Last year's number and this year's number. This year we've been a lot slower than normal.
And those ticket prices out there, they're so expensive that many are unable to see the race in person. That main event that starts on Saturday, well, guys, those tickets cost between $600 and $1,300. Adrienne and Nick.
Well, that's almost as much as a ticket to a Taylor Swift concert. And speaking of which, did you see all of the loving? I mean, all I saw, I'm not even following Taylor Swift.
Right.
And I see everything about her relationship.
Yep.
It happened, in fact, all the way in Argentina. We're talking about it. Fans excited to see Travis Kelce and Taylor and them lip-locking. Can I say lip-locking?
Yes.
Yes, we're going to get the scoop with Paula Froelich next.
Coming up next, NewsNation Live with Marni Hughes on NewsNation.
Cracked windshield on your new car?
you don't have to take it to the dealer. Bring it to Safelite. We do more replacements and recalibrations than anyone else.
Thank you so much.
Schedule now.
Safelite Repair, Safelite Replace.
Sore throat got your tongue? Mucinex Insta-Soothe Sore Throat Medicated Drops. Uniquely formulated for rapid relief that lasts and lasts.
That's my baby!
Get Mucinex Insta-Soothe. It's comeback season.
It's easy to get lost in investment research. Introducing JP Morgan Personal Advisors.
Hey, David.
Connect with an advisor to create your personalized plan.
Let's find the right investments for your goals. Okay, great.
JP Morgan Wealth Management.
With the Freestyle Libre 2 system, know your glucose level and where it's headed without finger sticks. Manage your diabetes with more confidence. Now widely covered by Medicare for patients managing diabetes with insulin. Visit freestylelibre.us to learn more.
We come from people we can be proud of. Seeing all the places I come from, I know if it's a Serrano, it's something to be proud of.
Give the gift of family heritage with Ancestry.
When you've tried everything.
I was getting chemical pills, bleaching cream.
This is melasma. I'm trying to get rid of it. I've tried everything.
Introducing Muesli Face RX, prescription skincare delivered straight to your door. The spot cream is 10 times more potent than over-the-counter and prescription alternatives, so you'll finally see a difference.
My skin looks amazing.
It's amazing.
I'm a loyal customer forever.
See for yourself at muesli.com/TV.
iPhone 15 Pro for your husband. iPhone 15 Pro.
Carolers, to tell me you want a new iPhone, a better plan's Verizon.
No way they take this wreck.
Yes, they will, and you'll get iPhone 15 Pro and Apple TV 4K and Apple One, all three on them. Do that. We tried to tell him, but he paid us a lot.
It was a lot.
This holiday, turn any iPhone in any condition into a new iPhone 15 Pro with titanium, Apple TV 4K, and 6 months of Apple One. All three on us. It's holiday every day with Verizon.
Shingles. The rash can feel like an intense burning sensation and last for weeks. Shingles can make it hard to be there for your loved ones. Over 50, the virus that causes shingles is likely already inside you. Don't wait. Ask your doctor about shingles.
Red Lobster's new Lobster and Shrimp Celebration.
We got tails, shrimp, waiters, potatoes, sausages and bosses, cheddar fish, stuffing, no bluffing.
3 lobster and shrimp entrees for a limited time.
A couple years ago, I ended up in a motorcycle accident. I didn't have health insurance at the time, and now I have a plan that keeps me covered for $9 a month.
Half of my monthly premium is covered with financial help, and knowing I'm covered to go to therapy and fill my prescriptions is huge.
I found a plan for $0 a month. It was a huge sigh of relief.
All plans cover doctor visits, prescriptions, emergency care, and more. Healthcare.gov is here for you. Enroll by December 15th.
It's important more than ever today to know what's happening in the world. I want to share that with our viewers.
Elizabeth Vargas Reports, weeknights 6/5 Central on NewsNation.
Yeah. Okay, if you love holiday movies, your dream job may be right around the corner. Yes. CableTV.com is looking for its 2023 Chief of Cheer.
Can I apply?
Yes,
okay.
Of course.
Well, if you love holiday movies, this is your dream job. Look at this. The lucky person gets to watch the movies and get paid $2,500 as well as a year of streaming subscriptions. That doesn't seem like very much money. If you can watch 25 movies in 25 days, you'll get the $2,500. Just go to CableTV.com to apply.
All right, definitely one of my favorite times because Paula is up in the house. Hey. It's time for In the Scoop. If you ever had doubts about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's new relationship, they definitely made things clear over the weekend.
I mean, seriously, I was shocked at how she was all over him.
Girl, I wouldn't be shocked. Have you seen him? And not only that, but she is sitting there. She's on starting her tour.
Okay, maybe he's not my type.
It is lonely on tour, and all of a sudden she gets a friendly face.
Look at her.
I know.
She's waving to the stands, and then she jumps, dude, kisses him.
I would too, except for that jacket.
That I know.
I'm confused about his sartorial
the Connect
senses.
4 type shirt he's got going on. But this was just the beginning. That kiss was just the beginning.
Actually, it came after the beginning.
Oh, was that after?
Yes, girl. Because he showed up And then he takes her to dinner at Elena at the Four Seasons. Trust me, it's good.
Yeah, it's worth it.
And then they have this romantic night. She had to cancel her first concert because of crazy weather, but somehow he made it in on his private plane because nothing's going to keep him away from his lay day. And then my favorite is at the concert the next day, he's hanging out with her dad. Remember when she was hanging out with his mom? They're having the best time. And then she sings Karma. Now, I'm gonna read this because I always get the words messed up. The original lyric is, Karma is the guy on the screen coming straight home to me. And then she changed it to this. Check it out. I love it.
So
okay, it says Karma is the guy on the Chiefs.
Coming straight home to me.
I
did see this on social media, and I love that Daddy and Travis are both like throwing their hands in the air like
That's
they just
a boss
don't care.
move. You can get in nice with
I
Dad.
see a
You can get the
proposal.
girl, for sure.
Girl, let me tell you what.
I see a proposal happening.
I do too, and I'm glad that her dad ain't like my dad. My dad's a big old redneck.
What would he have done?
Oh, I mean, the first and only guy I ever brought home, he held a gun to his head and didn't understand why he got upset because it wasn't loaded. Okay. What can you do?
Listen.
But it is different in the Swift family, thank you, God. And now he is off because, you know, he had a bye week, so he's going back. He's got a game on November 20th, and she's off to Brazil to go play in Rio.
But they're enjoying the publicness. It's like, this is one thing I will say, because a lot of public people, you know, they try to kind of keep the PDA
on the low key,
very discreet. It's like they're embracing it. Like, you know what? You are one of the most famous women in the world. I'm very famous, not only for my NFL career, but because I'm dating you. I'm going to just
And
go
by
with
the
it.
way, you just have to, because she can't do anything in private.
She can't hide.
Not while she's on tour, no.
She can run into his arms.
She does have a blank space, and she can write his name.
Oh, no, you didn't. Listen, we're going to hear about it either way.
You knew Taylor Swift
Oh, there are a couple of... I'd sit by Tina Palafiero.
Yeah, Tina's our producer.
Our fan, our Taylor fan, our Swiftie. All right, Paula, thank you. Really, like anybody saw everything with Taylor Swift's Love Life. Marni Hughes, did you watch?
I saw
did you
it.
See?
I didn't see the show, but I saw the highlights. I saw the lip lock on social media.
I mean, she's just all out there with it now.
I love it. Yeah, it gives us something fun to talk about. We love love. All right, you guys. Paula, good to see you. Take care. Have a good one. It's Monday, November 13th, and it's time for